and then you can choose which screen.
Okay, awesome. So screen 2.
Perfect, because then I can use the presenter one, and that's what I'll see.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so this is just the online film that people can see. It's going to look like that, which is perfect.
Cool.
Because then I can still, what I think, if you can get the presenter mode for the presentation, then that's still what only I see.
Awesome. So you just need to get the link to that, right?
Yeah. So if you quickly send the link to me on Facebook or whatever closest tool.
Links.
Yeah.
Event or YouTube?
Event.
Okay, and what should I
Send it
send
to? Okay, I'm gonna press the Facebook Live now. If you could do my Gmail, find the link and post it in the comments field on Facebook.
Okay.
We are starting. Cool. Brilliant. Great.
Astrid,
Finally.
I do a swap. I found them on the table.
Yeah, it was for your Cisco training.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh, you need to adjust it immediately. Can you find them in that big folder? Where do I place it? And then the face lights there. And you comment it. Yay, okay, cool. Then you gotta move out of my shot. Hey! Hello, everybody. Welcome. We're finally ready to start, a bit over time. It's actually on time in the schedule that I've planned, so I'm very happy about that. My name is Astrid. I'm from the Missing Maps team here in London. Welcome, especially to all you beginners who's here for the very, very first time. Really happy to have you here. We are planning a cool program for you guys today. First, I'll give you some background into what Missing Maps is and why we're doing what we're doing. Then you get some training into using ID. Over there, you have some people using JOSM. That's another editing tool. And then we'll have some pizza. We're going to give you a cool little presentation on how some mapping data can be used in the field and in communities around the world. And then we'll do more mapping. At the end of all of this, we'll tell you what you have contributed to today and how your mapping will have impacted. And then we'll head to the pub. Yay! Welcome to Facebook Live. We are actually live on Facebook right now, so hopefully we have some viewers who's watching the presentations and also participating in the training today. So I'll just get started by shooting straight into what is Missing Maps for those who, I mean, you probably know a little bit about it since you made it all the way here, but let's just do the concept. So this is Bangassou in Central African Republic. This is a picture from Google Maps. As you can see, there's the name Bangassou, there's 3 roads meeting. Doesn't look like it's a lot of things, but the reality is thousands of people live here. And they're not on the map until Missing Maps came in. A proper map showing every single house, so we know every single person that's there. So we got the families down on the map. We know the population of the place right now, and that's why we're doing Missing Maps. The way we do it, though, is a 3-step process. You're now on step 1. You are sitting with your laptop. You're actually really looking like these people on the first animation, because these picnic tables kind of make it look like that. But yeah, you can do some remote mapping today. Then we have community volunteers locally in the field adding more details to the map. Eventually, humanitarian organizations and NGOs can use this for disaster relief. A little bit more about the first initial stage. This is remote mapping you're going to do today. You're going to trace satellite images, and you're going to look at features. You find them there, so you're going to find houses, roads, and you're kind of going to draw them on, kind of like paint, but with a satellite image, not a white blank canvas. Then this kind of it's still going to look like an empty looking map. It's going to be like an easy backdrop and then just like a square. But we need to know what that square is. Is it the house? Is it school? And that's where field mapping comes in. So we have local volunteers in the field who's going around adding those details to the map. So the name of the street, which some places we do have problems. Like we ask the community, oh, what is this street called? And you get 7 different names. Eventually you agree and you upload the details to OpenStreetMap. And that way, humanitarian organizations can use that for various reasons. I'll give you a few examples in a few seconds. But how did missing maps come about? It's a collaboration between a number of organizations. The Humanitarian OpenStreetMap team, Medicine Sans Frontières, American Red Cross, British Red Cross, the Netherlands Red Cross, Clinton Health Access Initiative, Coffee ONG, and Disaster Mappers in Heidelberg. All together, we make up missing maps. But these are just some fancy logos that we kind of put up and that creates some tasks once in a while. I mean, the real force behind missing maps is the volunteers, like you people, like the people who's attending remotely, sitting at home, mapping in their living room a little bit after work. And all of this together have so far had massive contributions. I mean, we've had over 12,000 contributors so far since 2014 when we started, which has made up 23 million edits in the map. This includes, we don't only add roads and buildings, we add a lot of things, but there's 3.4 million buildings and 444 kilometers of road is added to the map. This is the data from today. So NGOs uses the maps that you guys are creating for various different things. And some MSF examples I'll bring to you today is, MSF is Medicine Sans Frontières, by the way. Have you heard about Medicine Sans Frontières? Cool. So they've used the maps of various things. This is Hazaragah in Bangladesh, which is a very dense area of like loads of small mini factories and tanneries. And it's a very toxic place with very little safety precautions in terms of training and personal protection. So as a result, a lot of people suffer from health issues. So wanted to help these people, so we created first proper maps, and then we figured out where is the need greatest. So then we figured out where the chemical use was highest, and we created health centers around in the areas, which was easily accessible for all the health workers, all the workers around that area, so that they could benefit them. And they're still treating people today. Then we have an example from South Sudan, one of the newest countries in the world, the newest still. Our teams there, they often receive information about various communities that might be located here and there, and they kind of just hear it by word of mouth. And they might hear about or receive information about various health issues in these areas. Then before they decide how to face this problem, they go there and they assess. But they can't do that without knowing the way. And these communities are scattered all around, tiny small villages. And especially in rainy seasons, a lot of roads and stuff get blocked because it gets flooded. It just literally gets flooded. Large areas get flooded. And South Sudan is a country that's specifically really unmapped. So for MSF to do their assessments, we had volunteers mapping areas. And in some parts, or in some examples, it was teams sending requests saying, we want to go to this area tomorrow. Can we have a map to like vaguely know where they are? And you guys sitting with a great internet connection and being able to upload satellite images can say, oh, there's one here, one here, one here. It seems like there's a road you can drive there and there. And that helped the people to find these communities and help them. When they go to these areas, then they're able to figure out how many people are there, and not only how many, let me rewind on that. When they know how many people that are there, they can figure out how many are sick. For example, when it comes to malaria, they can figure out how many out of 1,000 has malaria, which is a much more significant and medically important number rather than the actual number of people who has it. You got to know what kind of impact it makes in a bigger number. A result of mapping. One last example. This is Mosa in Chad, where the team responded to huge outbreaks of malaria. And the hospital that MSF works in is based in a little place, which you can see up on the map right there in the corner, which is called Moisala. They wanted to go and do the same thing as in South Sudan. They wanted to visit these villages to reach people on the other side of this river. But first of all, the river was hard to cross, and they didn't know where to go. In addition to that, people in the villages on the other side of the river, they knew that there was a health center there, but to access this health center and cross this river was a great challenge. And in total, it's 130 villages that got mapped on the other side of the river with difficulties reaching this health center. So MSF team, they wanted to go out and supply these people with mosquito repellent infected nets, which would help contribute towards killing mosquitoes that carries the disease of malaria. And again, making this map, making the logistics of this task possible made this intervention possible. And it was all true volunteers like you guys. Pete, do we want to say something about Kinshasa? Kinshasa?
Just an update really on, if any of you were here last month, we were mapping Kinshasa for a yellow fever outbreak for MSF. And I just wanted to pass on thanks to the MSF team who received the data in time and were able to plan mass fumigations campaigns around the houses where people actually contracted yellow fever, and also to organise a vaccination which covered, the last time we looked, it was 620,000 kids, but they were still vaccinated. Yeah. And interestingly, lots of the people involved in vaccination have never heard of OpenStreetMap. The GIS guy there gave a few key people a free app called Osmond, which allows you to look at OpenStreetMap offline. And by the time he was 2 weeks into his mission, I think over 70 or 80 people have requested this app because they found it so useful. So all those people have your data sitting on their phones and using them for kind of their everyday operational purpose. So just a bit of feedback.
Yeah. So that was the mappers, just like you. They created this on the 4th of August, I think it was, just a month ago. And it's already actively being used and expanded. So what we really just want to say is the importance of Missing Maps volunteers, who are truly, truly superheroes. We couldn't do this project without those 12,000 contributors we had so far, and still growing. That's it for the short Missing Maps presentation. You'll find more information about Missing Maps on our website, on Twitter, and on Facebook. We also have a London Missing Maps Facebook group. If you search for Missing Maps London, come a part of that Facebook group. We'll share other events than the monthly events and whatever happens in the mapping community. If you have questions about mapping, you can ask them there. So that's our little community right there. And with that being said, I'll hand over to Pete, who's going to train you guys in using ID. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Astrid.
Guess you just need internet.
Yeah. Ooh.
So so your screen is kind of online.
Okay. Let's move this forward slightly. Has everybody got an OpenStreetMap account? Has anybody not got an OpenStreetMap account? Okay, get an OpenStreetMap account.
Pete,
Yeah.
should we introduce the team?
Second?
Should we just introduce who can help?
Yeah, so there's lots of people sitting here looking very cool, very relaxed. Some of them have remembered their Missing Maps t-shirts, some of them haven't. But essentially, if you have any problems during this or the rest of the evening, just stick your hand up. Someone will come and help you with whatever you're stuck on. And also talk to each other, because A lot of times at Mapathons, people end up with like their head down, click, 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 click. And it's likely that the person next to you has had a similar problem, or the person across from you, so talk to each other, solve problems together. They're usually not massive problems anyway, but yeah. So everybody is logged in. Is anybody not logged in? This is a very difficult mouse to use. Astrid, can you grab me something to put the mouse on? Because this is
Paper?
Okay, so once you're logged into OpenStreetMap, you can see the website. You can use it much as you'd use any kind of mapping website. Zoom in, zoom out, you know, route finding, all that sort of stuff. And this is where your data will end up. So OpenStreetMap is a data repository, and it's called OpenStreetMap because it's open for anyone to use, which is kind of why we use it, because the data you create can be accessed by any NGO, any local government, local people. They can all use it for their varying needs. So to make sure we don't have loads of confusion when 70 of you are trying to map the same place at the same time, to make sure that you and you aren't trying to map the same building, we use something called the Tasking Manager, which is tasks.hotosm.org. So if you navigate to that website, when you get to that website, you'll see a bit of blurb, and you'll see a list of tasks down the left-hand side. So it's not just MSF, or it's not just Missing Maps or Red Cross that uses this. It's the whole kind of humanitarian OpenStreetMap community use this. So there's tasks from all sorts of organizations and places. So you can have a browse of those. In the search bar for now, if you put 2116, that's the particular project we're going to work on today. So this project is an MSF request. It's in a place called Masisi in Congo, in North Kivu. MSF runs a hospital and supports a lot of local health centers. They also respond to disease outbreaks and various other activities. It's really, really unmapped because the satellite imagery that we normally use actually doesn't cover this area. So we've got some different satellite imagery to map this, but most of it is kind of fairly virgin territory. So what we're going to be doing today is adding the buildings, which is the third pass. So people have already gone through and added kind of the outlines of villages and the roads, and we're going to add the buildings in those villages. So if you click on the name of the project, and you should see something like this. So on your tabs on the left, you'll see description, instructions, contribute, activity, and stats. Description just gives you a bit of context as to what the project is about. In instructions, it's more of kind of a manual. So that's kind of expected of you specifically in terms of mapping. So a bit later, you can have a read of that. Hopefully I'll cover what's in it, but how to add a building in OpenStreetMap, stuff like that. On the right-hand side, you've actually got a map. So this kind of blobby area is the extent of the area we want to map, and the red area is our priority area for today. So when you choose your places you're going to map, if you stay within the red or the pink, that would be really good. So as you zoom in, you begin to see the outlines of villages. So if you click on one, it should take you. It takes you to the Contribute tab up in the left-hand side, and it offers you to start mapping. So it's asking me to log in first and grant access to the Tasking Manager. Okay, cool. Okay, so start mapping, and it'll give me some options, the tools with which you can map on this little drop-down arrow. So you've got a few different things in there. ID is the one we're going to do here. It's kind of the easiest. It's a web-based software. There's a whole group of people over here and in the other rooms learning and using JOSM, which is a slightly more complicated Java-based software, which is actually much quicker and a bit more flexible, but it's a bit more of a steep learning curve. So we start with this, and then if you find this easy, next time you come, go and sit in there, and yeah. So you click ID Editor, and it opens the OpenStreetMap website for you again. You can go straight to Edit now, and you'll see that it's opened the village that I selected, and it's got a pink or purple line around it. I'm a bit colorblind, so you can tell me if it's pink or purple or whatever. And it gives you some satellite imagery. So that pink or purple line is essentially the extent of your area of responsibility. Once you've opened this task, you have 2 hours to map what's within it. Otherwise, the task will open for other people to come and contribute. But within that 2 hours, actually, it's locked. So no one can come and like double map the same bits. So in here, you can see I've got some buildings, I've got some trees, I've got some scrubland. So what we're specifically looking for in this task is buildings, okay? I'm just going to go through this pretty quick because it's not rocket science, and any problems you have we can pick up later. So don't worry too much if it's fast. So the way we add geometry to OpenStreetMap is through points, lines, and polygons. So points is generally to say this is a hospital, this is a school, this is a waterfall, whatever it might be. Lines is generally for roads and rivers, and then we have areas, which is for the boundaries of villages or buildings or whatever it might be. So in this case, we're going to be mostly using area. So you just select the tool, and then you start clicking on each corner of your building. And on the last corner, you just double click. So now we have, on the screen, we have a shape. OpenStreetMap doesn't know what it is yet. It's just a shape. On the left-hand side, you have a bunch of options for different tags within OpenStreetMap. So everything within OSM is classified by tags. So if we click Building Features, there's a list of stuff it could be. Because from the air, we can't really tell what it is. I mean, that could be a shop, could be a farm, could be an office block. It's unlikely, but it could be. We're just going to call it a building for today, so it's a generic building. Once you've tagged it, if you click on the line that you've drawn, you get a few options again. Most of the buildings you see will either be round or they'll be rectangular. So these tools help you to keep the shape nice and crisp. So if you click this one, it just squares the corners. Most of them will have right angles on the corners, and so that does it for you. So then once you've mapped that one, you can go and look for another one. The imagery we're using is not amazing. It's sometimes a bit fuzzy, and you're going to come across bits where you're not sure what you're looking at, and you're not sure if it's a building or not. And like I said before, ask people, ask your neighbors what their opinion is. Ask the guy sitting over here, because all of this is down to someone making a decision. It's the way it works. It's a crowdsourced project. Everything that's mapped is because someone has mapped it and said, that's what I think it is. If you get a building wrong, you put one where there isn't one, or you miss one, it's not the end of the world. And actually, after you've mapped, a validator, which is just an experienced mapper, comes along and checks. So they'll be able to pick up mistakes and stuff. So don't worry too much. Do your best. The best way to kind of try and identify buildings is actually by the shadow. So often they have very linear shadows. Like the sun's in a certain place when the photo is taken, it will hit the building and it will cast shadows in the same direction over the area. So if you look for those shadows, that's kind of the best way of identifying 3D stuff on the ground. So I just map this one once more. So area, click on the corner, click on the corner, click on the corner, double click at the end. It's saved my previous preference, so I just need to click that once now. And then I go over to the building, square the corner. Okay, so I've got 2 buildings. Let's assume that's all there is in my area. So saving, very important. Try not to let the little number there hit 10 before you save. Like save regularly, because sometimes it's a website, sometimes it crashes, you lose your data, it's annoying. So you hit save on the right. You'll see that there's a little comment here that's been auto-populated. You can just leave that alone. That just says what you're doing and where you're doing it. And then you hit save again. So that's now, those changes are now gone live to OpenStreetMap. Okay. So let's assume that I've finished the area that I'm responsible for. I can go back to the tasking manager, and I can leave a comment here. If you finished it, you don't really need to. You can just click mark task as done. If you did a bit, you can put added buildings and stop mapping. So that just unlocks it for the next person. So that's kind of ready for someone else to finish off. Okay. So just going back a bit to the tasking manager again, when you're looking for stuff to map, you'll notice that the various shapes come up as different colors. It's a bit difficult to see here because of the red, so I'm going to zoom in here. These are gray, for example, so you can see the little key. If it's clear, it's not been worked on. If it's gray, it's been invalidated, so a validator has come along and said, actually, this needs more work. Usually, if there's a couple of mistakes, they'll just fix them and validate them. If it's done, it's orange, and if it's green, it's validated, it's finished. So try and make sure you pick the squares that haven't already been done. I call them squares, but they're not. If I click on this one now, for example, you can see nothing has happened yet, so I know that one's fresh. If it's been validated or finished, it will say so. I think that's about it, really. We just have to do that a lot, and then we finish. Has anyone got any questions? Yeah.
If you click on something that has a previous comment in it, like buildings added,
yeah,
you have to do anything special, or you just pick up where?
So this is a fairly good it's a fairly good task for beginners, because as long as you choose fairly small polygons on the map, you're going to get a few houses, and then you can click it done. It's usually like if you have a square that covers a city like Kinshasa, and someone's gone in and done 200 buildings, it's helpful if they haven't finished that they say, I did the buildings in the north, and then you don't have to look through the whole square looking where they finished. You can start from the south and complement each other. So really, it's just a note to the next mapper for kind of courtesy's sake. I doubt you'll find it much here. Anything else? Great. Enjoy. You're not there. Do you want a laptop? You can use mine. I still need to do that. This is my mouse. Have you got a mouse? I'll get you
I just finished the square, so I saved it. This is one. So is that because that's building?
Yeah. As soon as you take that road to that route, hold it, yeah. The trouble is, if something that someone's wearing, they will
Yeah.
We used to do a lot of things. We can take them through that tracks. We can take them down into the we can take it in sales. So we've got sort of choice in which way we do lots of rotations between so we get a really deep which you get it's all work. Actually, there's an organization. So I'm familiar with this kind of stuff, but not actually doing it. It's more like admin at a higher level. Organizations like this, organizations. It's cool to actually do one.
Is it so?
Yo. Yo.
Undo the TV.
No, I think the next one is Jose at 7:10 or something like that. Okay.
Your master I'm really struggling to work out. Yes. Do you have any? I suggested look for squares. I take the shadows. But, for example, this you can
So, I think this
Pizza's here. Are you gonna say anything about anything right now?
Then I want to do Hello! Hello, Johnson! Jose! Johnson! Okay. Just a quick announcement. The pizza has arrived. Yay! That will be in the kitchen over there. There's soft drinks. You can help yourself to soft drinks in the fridge over with Andrew and John. Ta-da! And also a quick announcement, the toilets. I forgot to tell you where they are. It's a little tricky. So you walk all the way up the hall and back to the stairs. And past the stairs, and there they are. Okay? Now you know. Help yourself to some pizza, and then we'll have a presentation in about 10-15 minutes.
Yes, I did. Just Actually, I just went there and was asked what's you do it. And I'm not that good with soccer. A lot of American sports like baseball. So I said, well, I'm like, what? I'm like, at that time, I was quite a lot, like maybe 15 kilometers. It's easy to go with knowing that you have to commit. Now I'm raised myself. Not really close. And then it's like each month and then where I'm taking this to the islands, close to the island. Right, and that's
No, I just read it. I was like,